Hello everyone, this is Worm, and we are back with our quarterly grievance list. These are issues that I've had with the game, and I put them on a nice little notation on my phone here, and I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to see, first of all, which of these have actually been fixed, and which of these still have issues in Destiny 2, and we're going to talk about them. So, with that being said, let's get right into it. And of course, at the top of the list, this is literally the same for every single one of these videos, repeating Eververse drops. Again, for the billionth time, it seems like Bungie said that bright engrams and Eververse engrams are supposed to never drop the same thing twice. Yet I consistently get shaders, I consistently get sparrows. I don't get emotes. That's like the one thing I don't get duplicates of, but I get duplicate shaders. I didn't even know you could get duplicate shaders, and I still get duplicate shaders once in a blue moon. I get duplicate sparrows, I get duplicate ships, I've gotten duplicate ghost shells. Like, I get duplicates all the time from Eververse store, and I look at my collections, and there is still a ton of stuff that I need to collect, and I don't get lucky enough from an Eververse engram. Why, Bungie? Like, if you're gonna prevent, or if you're gonna have duplicate drops in the game, at least tell us. At least come out and say, hey, we you know, if it's legendaries or whatever, like, we have duplicate drops enabled, you know. So just keep that in mind. But you know, for whatever reason, they don't do that, so that's still up at the top of the list. But moving on from there, and this is actually an issue that we had in the last video, and I'm still noticing it, but not quite as bad, and that is the game putting you into activities that are ending. Okay, now, last video we talked specifically about the Crucible. It would put you in Crucible games that were about to be mercy. Like, you join a game, and literally while you're flying in, Shaxx announces that the mercy rule has been active. This has not been happening as much in the Crucible. However, where it has been happening, Onslaught. In Onslaught, I will literally be put in an Onslaught run, and by the time I load into an end screen. I have zeros across the board, and it says that the ADU was destroyed or whatever. I'm like, why are we wasting players' time with this? Like, if there's two people in a game and the ADU is getting, like, if the ADU is less than 10% health, or if it's less than 15% health, don't put somebody in there. Don't put somebody in a game that's literally about to end. And I notice this happens it's not every time, but it does happen more often than I would like, you know, because it just feels like it's a big waste of time. I'm not opposed to being put into an Onslaught run where, I don't know, you know, say I loaded wave 43, like, I'm okay with that. That's not a big deal. The problem that I have, though, is whenever I load into a game that literally there's no salvaging it. Like, I spawn in, and 5 seconds later the ADU breaks down and it ends. Like, I don't know what Bungie thinks I'm on, thinking that I can just go in there and save the whole ADU when it's at 2% health, but it ain't it. Please, Bungie, fix that. But moving on from there, the third thing I have on my list here is a matchmaking bug that will have you forever floating in orbit or stuck on an in-game screen. This still happens. It still happens. Why, Bungie? Why can you not get this together? Like, I don't know what causes it, but the first part of this, the stuck in orbit, after a game, you'll fly back to orbit and you'll be sitting there, and you'll say in matchmaking, but the player counter in the bottom right corner is gone. It's not like there's no players, and like, it's just gone. It's not there, and you'll be stuck there for, I don't know, ever. You know, typically, you know, I think the one time that I waited to see if it would fix itself, I waited for 25 minutes, nothing happened. You can't back out. The only thing you do to fix it is change characters, or to, of course, just close out of Destiny. That is still in the game. Not only that, but the issue where you get stuck on Crucible end screens, I have noticed this has gone down a little bit over the past, I don't remember exactly when the last time I posted that video was, but over the past several months, I have noticed I'm getting stuck on Crucible in-game screens less. And same thing with like Onslaught, Strikes, anything like that. Like, I'm getting stuck on the end screen a lot less, which is really good, but it still happens. It's still like the little activity ends in however many seconds, timer is down there, and it hits 0, and we're just chilling in orbit for another 7 minutes before I finally change characters and go back onto my character and get back into matchmaking. Like, that's something that I really want to see fixed with the final shape. Like, Bungie, you're doing so many good things with the final shape. Please address this bug. Please. Moving on from there, I have the shader drop rate in Iron Banner other playlists is too low. This was submitted by a user previously. I'm actually not really sure if this has been changed. I doubt it's been changed, but if you have experience with low drop rates of shaders in various activities, please tell me. But Bungie, I do hope that you've increased this, which actually I think I think they did. I think in a TWAB they announced that they were increasing the drop rate of shaders and stuff. So of course, maybe I'm crazy. If I'm crazy, just tell me in the comments. But moving on from that one, we have chat showing when there are no messages, and this is, it's kind of hit or miss. This is a weird one, but the in-game chat down in the bottom left corner, sometimes it will just show the little little white text tooltip or whatever it is down there, and it just never goes away. Like, no matter how long you play, like I have it on auto hide where it's supposed to automatically disappear over a certain amount of time, and it just doesn't, and I don't know why, and it's frustrating. It's still an issue. Like, I think it's they've done better at auto hiding the chat when people are messaging. Like if I'm in a raid group and we're in text chat in there, it will go away. But if I load into an activity and nobody's using text chat, it'll say the help command down there just the whole time. That drives me crazy. In fact, oftentimes I turn text chat off because I don't want to look at that distracting me down there on the side of my screen. So again, please get that fixed. Next one here, I say, okay, the revive mechanic of the coil needs fixing. Players can be kicked while dead and unable to respawn. This has been fixed. So good on Bungie. We'll cross that one off the list. Perfect. Deep sight harmonizers should be more available. This is something I will die on this hill. And I've heard a lot of players say, no, they're fine where they are. They should be rare. I disagree. I think deep sight harmonizers, we should have a weekly Xur quest, a xenology quest, so to speak, that gives us deep sight harmonizers. We only get 6 a season, and that's if you pay for the season pass. If you don't pay for the season pass, you only get 3 per season, meaning you don't even get enough to complete 1 weapon. And I know players are gonna say, oh, well, those are there for like if you are at the end of the season, you just need 1 more, then you can do it. Like, no, they're there so that people can unlock patterns, and not everybody gets as much time to play as you and I. I don't ever use my deep sight harmonizers unless it's maybe on a raid weapon, because I don't need to. Why would I go out of my way to use them if I don't need to use them? But I play a lot. Players who don't play a lot, players who play a couple hours a week, they need those deep sight harmonizers. They need more avenues to get deep sight harmonizers. And whether it's a quest, maybe it's a random drop chance. Like, I don't see Bungie really doing the random drop chance, but maybe it's a random drop chance. Like, I don't care what you do, Bungie. Give us more methods to obtain. Give us a farmable way to obtain deep sight harmonizers. Okay, but that's on there. The countdown in competitive takes too the game mode in competitive takes too long. This has been fixed because countdown is no longer in competitive, so we'll cross that one off. Reprised undying weapons need higher drop rates. At the time I made that video, I still had yet to get a submachine gun. Actually, fun fact, I just got the submachine gun craftable, I think like a month ago. Let's see here, because it's May now. It was in March. I finally got the last frame for my submachine gun. Now granted, this is specific to this season when Final Shape's coming up, but I would like to see Bungie increase drop rates of certain weapons. Increase with Final Shape. Make sure that we have a decent drop rate on the Final Shape weapons that are coming. The Cade 6 themed weapons. Please have a decent drop rate on those. Like, nothing feels worse than, oh, I'm gonna go and grind this seasonal activity for weapons and you just don't get that weapon ever. Please just get that one fixed. The next thing I have here, Solar 3.0 restoration resets when picking up fire sprites with Ember of Mercy. Sunspots reset restoration, Precious Scars reset restoration. This has been addressed. Thank you, Bungie, for fixing this. This was a big one, and this was actually fixed quite a while ago, so good job on that. Okay, here's another big one that has not changed. Losing rank in the competitive playlist when your teammates leave the game. Now this one, I know this one's a little bit kind of wishy-washy, because like, oh, well, like, why wouldn't you go in with 3-stack and right before you lose, your teammate leaves, blah, blah, so that you don't lose rank, blah, blah, whatever you want to call it. Listen, I'm not necessarily talking about that. When I go into comp solo, okay, and I think I just talked yesterday or the day before, I don't remember when I did the last video, but I talked about competitive, and I talked about, why I don't play it. Another reason why I don't play competitive, why I don't play trials, is because if a teammate rage quits, you are at a loss. Like, you are out. You're kind of like, yeah, that sucks, but too bad. Reset your card. You lose rank. You're gonna have to regain that rank, whatever you want to call it. And this needs to be fixed. And again, I understand that it's probably difficult to fix, because how do you distinguish between somebody intentionally leaving a game so their teammates don't lose rank, and how do you distinguish between those who genuinely need some kind of protection? But honestly, Bungie, like, I would say we're at a point now, just give everybody the protection. Okay, like, they've already made obtaining, you know, all the loot and stuff from trials and everything so easy. You might as well just give everybody protection. If a teammate leaves, no matter what, if a teammate leaves, your rank is spared. Your teammate that leaves, they suffer. They're the one that's going to lose a bunch of rank, and maybe you can increase the amount of reputation that you have for leaving games, you know. But at the same time, like, it's still very frustrating whenever I am 6-0 in Trials of Osiris and my teammate leaves because they got sniped at the start of the game because they made a dumb play and then they rage quit, and now I'm screwed because now I'm gonna lose my 6th game right before I was about to go flawless because I had a teammate leave. Like, please, like, I'm just, find a way to better that. My opinion at this point, you might as well just, anytime somebody leaves, give everybody a free pass. But yeah, I don't know. That's that. But this is a nitpicky one. Resetting Gambit, Crucible, basically any of those leveled seasonal vendors, whatever you want to call them, shouldn't take so freaking long. And I'm not talking about leveling up. I'm not talking about, oh, I had to play X amount of Crucible games to rank up. No, I'm talking about the action of when you're at the tower and you're claiming that exotic Ingram. It should not take like 8 seconds to reset that rank. Like, give us the ability to just press it and be done. Nothing's worse than going to the tower. Oh, I gotta go to the tower because I gotta reset Shax's rank. So you fly into the tower and that takes forever. And then you get the bug where everybody is stuck on the tower loading screen. We're gonna talk about that one in a second. You know, and then finally you load in the tower. Then you gotta run all the way to Shax. Then you gotta sit there for 8 seconds or however long it is. Hold that button down, doing nothing but watching the bar go. And it's just like, oh my god, please give us the option to just click it and claim it. Please, I'm begging you, Bungie. But yeah, with that one, the solo flawless emblem still not available. That's been fixed. That's for the dungeon. That's for a dungeon. That's been fixed. Don't worry about that one. In-game LFG was too big. That's also been fixed. So at the time of this that I made the last video, the in-game LFG was this huge banner. That's been fixed. It's been made much smaller. Mobility is not a very useful stat in PvE. This is still an issue. Hi. I am. Hi. Come say hi. Come here. Come say hi. Yeah, the baby's at the door. Sorry, but with that being said, mobility is not a useful stat inside of PvE. Why? I don't know. Please, like, give it something. Okay, maybe if you have high mobility, you have a slightly increased reload speed. Maybe if you have high mobility, you you know, I don't know, there's any number of things. You know, you can sprint faster, you can, you know, have a further slide, which I know that these are kind of all affected here, but like, mobility feels so pointless inside of PvE. Just add something to it, give it some sort of boom, like, make it a little bit better somehow, some way. But yeah, mobility not being useful, please change it so that mobility is something more useful. And the reason why I say this is because, of course, hunters have their class ability tied to their class ability tied to mobility. So if I want to play on hunter and I want to use my class ability, I have to sacrifice recovery, or I have to sacrifice resilience so that I can have access to my class ability, while titans and warlocks, they have access to their full class ability and those super strong stats. Bungie, please add additional functionality to mobility so that it's more useful inside of PvE. But moving on, Fireteam Finder resets checkpoints. That has been fixed. Great. Private Vanguard playlists need to be added. Yes, please. Why do we have private Crucible, we have private Gambit. Why can we not have a private Vanguard Strike? Why can I not join a Vanguard Strike playlist and just literally go in there solo? You know, hey, I don't want to matchmake. I want to do this strike solo. I don't want it to be a nightfall difficulty. I want to do strikes solo. I want to just challenge myself. I want to, you know, mess around and not have to worry about people, you know, running ahead and all this stuff. Like, let me do it by myself. Why we haven't got this, I don't know. And Bungie needs to add it. They need to add an ability to play in the Vanguard playlist solo. It is one of those core playlists, just like Crucible, just like Gambit. Give us the ability to do that, please. But moving on to the next one, finally, Ensnaring Slam is not working with class ability mods such as Powerful Attraction. This, I actually don't know if this has been fixed. I think it has. And it's not just Ensnaring Slam, like it's any class ability that, you know, isn't necessarily like a standard class ability. Like, you know, Ensnaring Slam, you know, it's not a normal class ability. You don't dodge, you do this thing that suspends enemies. It used to not suck up orbs in the area. It used to not, you know, activate other mods, stuff like that. I don't know if that's been fixed or not, but if not, Bungie fix it. I mean, that's it. But yeah, that's the grievance list that I had. In terms of stuff that I did want to add, the tower glitch. How many of y'all have been flying into the tower and you're literally flying in for like 20 minutes, it seems like you're flying and you're in Earth's orbit and you're just kind of doing that little back and forth thing in your ship, and it's just taking forever to load. Then finally you load in and literally everybody at the tower loads in at the exact same time, and all of a sudden you see just an influx of like 25 Guardian just all spreading out. Why is that still a bug? Like, do something to fix it. I don't know what causes it or anything like that, but half the time I just end up flying into the annex of the tower because I never have that issue to fly in at the annex. I don't know if it's too many people trying to load in the tower at once, but please, Bungie, fix that issue. But that being said, I think that's all of my problems with Destiny 2. I think that's everything on the list. Hopefully they get fixed in final shape. Bungie, this is me putting them on your radar. So with that being said, if you think of anything else, any other rant or grievance that you have that's just a quality of life thing for Destiny 2, put it down in the comments below. Of course, if you like today's video, drop a like, helps the channel out a lot. Subscribe for more daily Destiny content. Guys, I will see y'all in the next one. Bye for now.